Over the last 4 years, I've written over 600 SEO blog posts, and the last time I checked, over 60 of them ranked in the top 3 spots for the primary keywords in Google search results. I've also written over 100 articles about SEO and link building. In this video, I will share everything I've learned about SEO when writing these articles. I will walk you through my 9-step search engine optimization process that will help you improve the SEO performance of the articles that you write. So the 9 on-page SEO steps necessary for your work to rank in organic search results are: first, identifying search intent; 2, writing people-first content; 3, weaving double EAT signals into the text; 4, embedding keywords and semantic terms naturally; 5, crafting clickable titles and meta descriptions; 6, making your content scannable and skimmable; 7, adding images and media to increase reader engagement; 8, adding internal and external links to build context and add depth; and 9, optimizing for feature snippets. Search intent is the reason why the reader is searching for the term. And to rank, your content needs to give them the answers that they need. We have 4 main types of search intent. It's informational, commercial, transactional, and navigational. Informational, that's when the reader needs information about a topic. For example, they could be searching for what is project management software. Commercial intent is when they are considering products to purchase, and they could be looking for something like best project management software. We have transactional search intent. That's when they are ready to buy and they are looking for the page where they can make the purchase. For example, they could search for buy Asana. Then we've got navigational intent. That's when they are trying to find a particular page. For example, they could look for Asana login. These are the 4 labels that you will find in your SEO tools. And these categories are too general in my opinion. They don't tell you much about what content exactly ranks for the keyword. A quick look at search results for the keyword is more revealing. For example, if you search for case study, you'll see that most ranking articles are how-to guides, and that's the kind of format you want to replicate to rank for the keyword. But don't stop there. Look at the individual articles and analyze them in terms of structure. So how many H2, H3, H4 headings they have. In terms of visuals, so how many images and videos they have. How long is the article, how many words. And look at the content, and that's the most important thing. So what aspects they cover, like what gaps you could fill to make the content more comprehensive, and what's unique about each of them. I've got a pro tip for you. Prompt your AI assistant, Gemini, ChatGPT, Claude, whatever you use, to extract all the questions that the articles answer, either directly or indirectly, and find common reading questions in people also asked, answer the public, also asked. And this is the absolute baseline that you have to cover in your article to stand a chance. To perform well in Google's search engine rankings, write content to satisfy your audience and not the algorithms. In 2022, Google rolled out its helpful content update, and that's when they started prioritizing content that provides, and that's a quote, helpful, reliable information that's created to benefit people and not content that's created to manipulate search engine rankings. In practice, writing people-first content means writing for a specific target audience. For example, I write a lot for content marketers and SEOs. Creating content that has a specific purpose, for example, help them appear in search engine results consistently. Providing actionable and in-depth guidance so the reader can achieve their goal after reading the article. And adding unique insights to the existing discussion, not just regurgitating what others have said before. In contrast, bot-first content is made primarily to attract search traffic, covers diverse topics without a clear focus, is generated in bulk, for example with AI, summarizes what others say without extra value, doesn't satisfy the reader's need, forcing them to search for more information elsewhere, and isn't grounded in real-life experience and expertise. So speaking of expertise, high-performing content demonstrates experience, expertise, authoritativeness, and trustworthiness. That's EEAT. For example, a lot of the blog posts on my website are based on my personal experience, and I use specific examples from the articles I've written to illustrate the points that I make. And as I've said before, I've written over 600 articles, many of which rank high in SERPs, and over 100 of them are actually about SEO. So I have the necessary expertise to write about the topic in a manner that hopefully inspires trust. But let's face it, as writers, we don't always have such in-depth experience of what we write about. So how can we embed WEAT signals without it? Well, here are a few ways to do it. Speak to internal and external subject matter experts and ask them for examples, anecdotes, and insights. For example, the UX designers and product team helped us a lot when I wrote about product analytics for UserPilot. You can ask SMEs to verify your work once it's ready, and this was the norm when I worked for Honestly. Provide evidence to support your claims from reputable current primary sources. Use clients' internal data and case studies to illustrate your point. For example, I used a lot of case studies for my DoFinder articles to demonstrate the product value. Provide expert credentials in the text. When you are citing someone, you could say Jane Smith, a messaging and positioning expert with a decade of experience, points out that whatever. And then embed customer testimonials in the copy. Google uses keywords and related semantic terms to understand your content context, assess if it meets user intent, and how well it covers the topic. My process is simple. I place the primary keyword in the title tag, in the URL slug, the H1 header, and within the first 100 words. That's a rule of thumb. I use secondary keywords and related semantic terms like synonyms and related phrases in H2 and H3 headings, and I write the text naturally. And you can find relevant terms to use in your copy with tools like Surfer, ClearScope, or Neuron Writer. All these keywords and semantic terms need to be used in the text naturally. Keyword stuffing hasn't worked since 2011. That was the Panda update, and frankly, it sounds ridiculous. So a high score in the SEO optimization tool isn't enough to perform well. The article must be relevant and provide value in the first place. Your title tag and meta description can affect how many people click on your article in the search engine results pages, which is already challenging because of AI overviews. So what makes a title clickable? Brian Dean, the founder of Backlinko, recommends using relevant keywords, keeping it under 60 characters long, adding brackets or parentheses. Some studies show that this alone can increase the click-through rate by 38% or so, optimizing it for emotional marketing value, and using certain phrases like the future of SEO, or X ways, like 10 ways to increase your online visibility, or need to know, like 10 things you need to know about SEO. Now, as to meta descriptions, keep them up to 155 characters long. Include the primary keyword, summarize the key article benefits, and use imperatives. But here's a catch. There is no guarantee that Google will actually show your meta descriptions in SERPs, or even your title for that matter. According to Search Engine Land, Google rewrites about 60 to 70% of all meta descriptions. Some people say it's even more. And around 75-76% of all title tags to better match search queries. But writing them remains a Google best practice. Your web page visitors don't usually read the whole page, not immediately anyway. They skim it to get a general understanding and to assess its value, or scan it to find specific information and zero in on the particular section where the information is. So to make your piece easy to skim, use a logical H2, H3, H4 header structure. Write descriptive, dense headers that communicate the key section takeaway. Avoid lengthy sentences. Write in short paragraphs, 1 to 5 sentences and 3 lines maximum. Use bullet points and numbered lists, and add tables summarizing key details. Adding visuals is another way to make your content easier to scan and skim. For example, if you look at this infographic about the negative impact of eating carbohydrates on human body, we would need a whole article to communicate all the insights and all the data that it does. And the infographic is so much easier to process for the human brain than a wall of text. There are more benefits of including visuals on your page. Visuals, especially videos, make your content more engaging and increase time on page, which indirectly signals relevance to search engines, because the thinking here is that the longer the people stay on the page, the better it satisfies their needs. Moreover, pages with visuals attract more backlinks. SEMrush has found that an article with 7 or more images attracts more than 500% more backlinks than pages without any. What's more, images make it easier to find your page via visual search. And finally, readers are more likely to share them on their socials. When you insert an image into your blog post, use descriptive file names with the primary keyword and write clear descriptive alt text. This makes images accessible to visually impaired readers and helps search engines understand the content. To help readers find relevant materials and reference your sources, use internal and external links. For example, in my articles, I link to my homepage, as well as other resources on my website that cover the discussed topics in more depth, and the pages on other websites that I use as sources. And doing so improves user experience, but also adds value to your content. It also passes PageRank or link juice around your website and demonstrates trustworthiness. Links also help search engines crawl your website, discover new pages, and understand the content. Here's a pro tip. Attach the hyperlinks to anchor text that naturally describe the content of the link to page, and this helps Google understand the content. Featured snippets are special results boxes with definitions, answers to searches questions, lists, tables, lifted directly from a web page. And here's an example of the snippet for the keyword how to write blog post from a Wix article. It's an ordered list with step-by-step instructions. Because they appear at the top of the search results pages in the so-called position 0, landing a featured snippet increases your visibility and boosts traffic. So, how do you optimize your articles for featured snippets? Use question-based headings. For example, what are the best SEO tools for content writers instead of best SEO tools for content writers? Use BLUF or bottom line upfront. That's concisely answer the question, define the term, or provide the key takeaway immediately after the heading in the first 40-50 words and expand later. And use lists and tables in your copy. And the best thing about all these practices is that they can also increase your visibility in AI search results, including AI overviews, which increasingly replace featured snippets. I've just shown you how to optimize your content for Google search and increase your website's rankings. Thanks for watching. I hope you found it useful. And if you did, please leave us a comment and subscribe. It will help my channel grow.